Hi, everyone, and welcome to Reimagine Agriculture, the podcast where we explore the future of farming, food, and rural life across Europe through the eyes of people shaping it. I'm Teresa Carvalho, and in this series, we'll meet people from across Europe who are reshaping the future of agriculture. In this episode, we're heading to Belgium to talk to Lieven de Vreese, a farmer at the organic and community-supported farm Het Polderveld. Lieven's commitment to sustainable agriculture and his work connecting organic agriculture with local supply chains have earned him the title of Best Male Organic Farmer at the EU Organic Awards 2025. Hi, Lieven.
Hello.
Could you tell us a little bit about your story? What inspired you to become involved in agriculture? What kind of crops do you cultivate? And what does a typical week look like for you?
Yeah, I have been interested in nature since I was a child, and I studied biology. But then after a couple of years I was doing research in Central Africa on primates, because that's my passion since I'm 16. But so after a couple of years, I decided that I didn't want to continue there in the tropics in Central Africa. And then I was thinking, what could I do? I'm a new farmer, so my parents are not farmers, but my uncle had a farm, or has a farm. Actually, the year before I started with the farm, it was my cousin who joined the farm of my uncle. And so she was an inspiration to me. And a big advantage as well is that there was land available from the family. And so these two combined, or three things combined, love for nature, the availability of land, and then also the inspiration of my cousin was what made me take the step to start the farm.
Wow. That's really interesting. I'm sure that availability is often an issue that young farmers face. Yeah. So it's an amazing combination of opportunities, and your work has obviously not gone unnoticed. You recently won the EU Organic Award in the Best Male Organic Farmer category for your work. Congratulations. What does this recognition mean for you personally and for your farm?
It's a recognition for the work of the 10 years. So it's 10 years now that I started the farm. But of course, it's not just my work, it's a team effort. There have been several people working at the farm. But I think that it's also a recognition for the work of the local clinic with whom we collaborate, because the candidacy was based on our collaboration with the clinic. So 10 years ago, I started the farm, and it's 9 years now that we deliver vegetables to the clinic.
As the Common Agricultural Policy, it puts increasing emphasis on supporting the vibrant rural communities and especially strengthening the link between farmers and citizens. And obviously, Het Polderveld really embodies that as a community-supported farm. Why was that model important for you? And have you noticed people seeing farming differently since getting involved with your project?
So, yeah, at the moment, the farm is going through some changes. But for 10 years, we have been working with this CSA model, so community supported agriculture, and we combine it with a pick your own system. But CSA means that we don't sell produce, we sell shares. The people pay in advance for the service of growing vegetables. And so we combined it up to now with pick your own system, where people come to the farm and pick their own vegetables that they have paid in advance. So they get to know the farm, get to know more about agriculture, and it's an organic farm. Some people in the beginning don't know what to expect, especially because it's organic, but gradually they really get involved in agriculture because they come to the fields, and so they get to know, and I think that it also changes how they think about agriculture. And so now we also work for 9 years with the local clinic. We also use the CSA model. So again, we sell a share, or the clinic doesn't pay really for the produce, but for the service. So we agree on a crop scheme, what we grow, which vegetables, at what time of the year, and the quantities. And then we also agree on a fixed price for that season, for a whole season. They pay at 4 times of the year, but so the price is fixed. And then we can start growing vegetables, and everything that comes from the fields goes to the kitchen.
So you're building a connection with the food, the local organic food, and the people, and you're making sure it's local and there's this connection in the community that's really important. So you focus on shortening the supply chain by providing your products directly to local consumers and, as you said, the local clinic. Could you tell us a bit more? How did the partnership with the clinic come about?
Actually, they were looking for someone who could provide vegetables for them. They built a new clinic, a new building around 8 years ago. And so when they had the new building, they also wanted to start with a new vision on food. So they place food central in the healthcare that they are providing. And by chance, we came into contact. It's a bit more than a kilometer from the field, from the farm. So it's really close. We came into contact, and then they asked the question if we could provide them with vegetables. Yeah. And what is really special is that farming is unpredictable inherently. So working with a big kitchen is, in advance, people would think that it's difficult and there are obstacles. And in the beginning, they thought we were crazy. People told me that I was crazy, that people thought that it wouldn't last and that the people in the clinic didn't know what they were starting. But the catering manager, Peter de Smet from Sino, from the clinic, he was also told that he was crazy. And there were obstacles, of course, but what made it a success is that in the clinic they are very flexible. And you need to be very flexible if you work together with a farm, a direct collaboration, because agriculture is inherently unpredictable, and the harvest can be sometimes better, sometimes the quality is a bit less. But so their kitchen is arranged that they are very flexible. They can work with small batches. They have a food library where they can store the different meals. Actually, they do pre-cooking with our vegetables. Then they can store it in the food library for up to 3 weeks, I think. And the last part of the cooking process is at the last moment, just before the meals are being served. In a traditional clinic, usually the meals are prepared several hours in advance and then they are kept warm up to the moment of serving the meals. But for nutrition, it's much better to have to work with this other system. The patients also have more choice what they eat. And so it also enables them to work with small batches. They can just prepare a batch with several meals, and then because there is this choice possibility for the patients, they can just, if there are 10 meals of a certain meal, then they can take this out of the library, and that's what makes it very flexible and what makes it a success, our collaboration.
You were saying, and obviously agriculture is something that can be very unstable and difficult to predict, especially with climate change and accessibility difficulties. But now that you were mentioning some of these challenges that you face, could you tell us a little bit more about the difficulties that you have experienced, and how do you see this model? Is it inspiring a movement to transform hospitals into having their food systems and their systems in a more sustainable and local way?
So there are challenges. You named, in my opinion, the biggest one is, I think, climate change. Since I started to farm, we experience the effects of climate change here in Belgium. So that's really a huge challenge. But there have been different obstacles, more practical obstacles. We are working here on a clay soil, which is a difficult soil to work with, because we found a way to be able to grow vegetables here. And then just with the collaboration, if I look back at the beginning, how it was and how it is now, the crop scheme is much more adapted to what the kitchen can transform. I can say that now it is working fine with the clinic. And what is really nice to see is that now our collaboration is also an inspiration for other health institutions. We have been working on a project now for 2 years. It's called ZoBio, to connect organic farms with health institutions. And so our farm was the example of this project. But there are 5 other farms. And actually, it's 1.5 years ago that we had the first meeting. And there was enthusiasm. But in the beginning, it was people were mostly talking or thinking about the obstacles. How can we do this? How can these vegetables get from the fields, from a farm to the kitchen? And then how do we deal with it in the kitchen? And especially for the kitchen people, it was really something in their head, not so easy to see the possibilities. But so now it's near the end of this project, and it's really nice to see that these obstacles, not all of them are gone, but it's really see that there is enthusiasm in the different health institutions, and that there are really concrete steps that are being taken. And so there are now also organic vegetables going from a farm to health institutions in other farms. And that's really nice to see.
So behind that kind of farming model is obviously a clear commitment to sustainability, which the CAP is a tool that pursues that kind of commitment, not just in how you sell the food, but also how you grow it and work with techniques promoting biodiversity. Could you tell us a little bit about why this matters and how it affects your crops?
Mm-hmm. In my opinion, biodiversity is a key element of producing in an organic way. So we try to promote biodiversity. So we planted trees to provide shelter for the wind, but also to provide habitat for birds and for insects, beneficial insects, which are very important to control plague insects. So you need these beneficial insects to control the plague insects. It doesn't mean that there are no plague insects, but they should be under control. And so you need to provide habitat for these beneficial insects. Birds sometimes help to, for example, falcons can control the mice population. Other birds can help to control caterpillars. But also at the soil level, it's less visible, but a good soil is also a biodiverse soil. So with a lot of variety of bacteria and fungi. And you ideally want to have your root of your plant, of your produce plant, you want to have your roots covered with a lot of different microbes, fungi and bacteria, so that the ones that can harm your crops don't get access to your root, to your plant. So also at the level of the soil, biodiversity is really important. It's less visible, but I think it's a key aspect of growing organically.
I think also that is obviously really important for farmers to know, but how do people become farmers, and how do you see this issue in Belgium specifically? What challenges discourage young people from entering the sector, and what changes do you believe are needed to address this?
Mm-hmm. So I'm a new farmer, as I said. My parents were not farming when I started, and access to land is a big challenge. Yeah, that's, I think, the biggest challenge. But then you also need knowledge to start a farm. And in Belgium, we are lucky, maybe in a way. In Belgium, there's an NGO providing an education program. It's 2.5 years. And in the end, you work on a business plan because, of course, the financial aspect of farming is also important. And this NGO is really helping young people to start a farm. It's based on organic farming. And so I think there are possibilities to start farming if you don't have a farming background, but finding access to land is usually in the beginning the biggest challenge. But there you need to contact different people and look for opportunities. Usually for an organic farm or a small organic farm, you don't need so much area to start a farm. So I think there are really possibilities. Buying land is unfortunately in Belgium very expensive. That's often not possible.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm really glad to hear that this resource exists. And for our listeners, this is super valuable. In general, the farming population is aging quickly. And that's why generational renewal is such a key goal of the Common Agricultural Policy. But at the same time, there's a growing energy around doing things differently. And perhaps this will also attract new people. a focus on doing it more sustainably, locally, and collaboratively. It's encouraging how policies like the CAP are beginning to support this new wave of thinking. It isn't just about support and subsidies anymore. It's also about trying to promote innovation and sustainability and stronger rural communities. Despite the challenges, what gives you the most hope or energy right now, whether it's a new approach or a mindset shift or something that you're seeing in your own community?
I would say that the Zobio project that I talked about is really something hopeful to see that our collaboration with the clinic here can be an inspiration for other farms and clinics, and that it is really happening also at other places. So that's really hopeful to see that there can be steps being taken in other places as well. That's really nice to see.
Nice. And finally, thinking about all you've built and what you've learned along the way, for young Belgians that want to be part of transforming agriculture, even if they don't see themselves as traditional farmers, what small steps or actions would you encourage them to take to get started? And is there one practical piece of advice you wish you'd had before you started Het Polderveld?
First of all, you need to acquire knowledge to start a farm. In Belgium, there's this NGO, but there are in different countries, I think there are different places where you can acquire knowledge. The best way of acquiring knowledge is to work on another farm. So that's the first step. And then you need to get access to land. So therefore you need to talk to people, I think, and explain your ideas to a lot of people. And then hopefully one possibility will pop up. And you also asked about advice. I would say start small, but also plant trees. Yeah, what I said, in my opinion, biodiversity is key. Trees provide a stable habitat for biodiversity. You can also grow an annual flower mix, but if you plant trees, they will develop and they will increase over time. Their functions will increase over time. So that's what I would advise. Don't forget trees.
Leeman, thank you so much for sharing your journey and for showing how farming can be both local but also part of a much bigger movement. And to everyone listening, whether you're in the city or in the countryside, I hope this conversation gave you a glimpse into how food, community, and sustainability are all interconnected. Thank you for tuning in to Reimagine Agriculture, a part of the Recap Project, where we bring forward the voices helping to shape a more sustainable, inclusive, and community-driven future for European crop farming. See you in the next episode.